if you do not want to miss the best moments that come out of these raw, completely unplanned conversations that I have with these very interesting people, then make sure you subscribe to this channel, PGX Clips, and press the bell icon top so that you know the next time we post.
Tell me about actually coming out, because gay cells. So
Sure, yeah. So this is your headlines gonna be like Kelpin's gay podcast.
gay cells. So
Yeah.
tell me about the gay stuff, dude. Like, how'd you
Yeah.
meet your partner? How'd that happen?
We met when we were both living in Washington D.C.
Okay.
And so met basically like at an apartment party, and
But had you come out before that or no?
Yeah.
Oh, so you've been out for a
so the thing that was weird about writing my book, in retrospect, so the book is like 300 pages, whatever. There's one chapter that editors call a palate cleansing chapter. There are a few palate cleansing chapters. One is about going to a strip club for a buddy's bachelor party. One is about meeting my partner, but it's more about like a first date gone wrong. There's another chapter in there about an auntie.
I want to hear all of it.
And I also can send you the audiobook link too. But
No. Don't try to get away from it.
No, I'm
The story
telling you, I'm
start-
telling you the story.
okay.
So because you're asking about coming out, so I had been living my life openly, personally, professionally, everything, for probably about 10 years, and Josh and I had been together at the time for about 10 years. He's a very private person, same as my parents. So like my parents for years, whenever they've come to movie premieres or work events, dinners, stuff like that, they always come, and they always love to come. But as soon as the car pulls up, like they're going through the side entrance and they're sitting in the seats. They're like, we don't want to have anything to do with this red carpet nonsense,
Right.
but we understand you have to go do it. Josh is the same way. So since we started dating, it was one of those things where I'm like, well, I want to be respectful, just like I am of my parents, of like his desire to, he's a private person. He doesn't work in our crazy business. So like the last thing he wants is that attention. So in writing about both of them actually in the book, I obviously had long conversations with them about like, are you comfortable with me sharing this stuff? Real dummy on my part, where I just very naively assumed, because I'm so proud of the other chapters in the book, to me, the least interesting part of the book is about how Josh and I met. That chapter, what's more interesting about that is the first date gone wrong aspect of it.
Sure.
But super fucking naive on my part, because we don't live in a world where if you associate somebody who you know as an actor, you know some things about their personal life. We're still not there yet where the aspect of their personal life that's their sexuality, if it differs from your vision of who they were, that becomes a story. I totally get that. I very much appreciate that. I didn't fucking get it when I wrote my book. So in retrospect, I would have probably given that chapter of my book to like The New Yorker or People Magazine or The Atlantic like a year before the book came out. So like, let's get the gay shit out of our system. Let's let everybody have their field day with this. Okay, you didn't know. Happy to answer all the questions. Now you know.
Press conference.
Right? Whatever I need to do to get this
Gay shit
palatable
out of
for
your
you,
system,
right?
right.
Well, I mean, I'm perfectly proud of and happy with who I am, but I
Right.
also understand that there are plenty of people in the public eye who are wonderful advocates and are on the covers of magazines, particularly because they're so good at talking about public policy issues, discrimination issues, all of that. That hasn't, my experience hasn't been the same, and also figuring out your sexuality a little bit later in life was my experience. So it's not the like, I knew I was gay when I was 12. Great. That's amazing when I hear those stories. There's no timeline on it, right? So if you don't figure your shit out till you're in your 30s, that's also great. I have plenty of friends like me who are in that sort of a
Oh,
situation.
so you figured it out in your 30s.
Probably late 20s, early
okay,
30s,
okay,
yeah. But so that's the point is like, once you start having these conversations, that's when journalists can also lose interest. They're like, oh, yeah, but like, did you ever do like lines of coke and like you fucking passed out next to some dude you were hooking up with? And like, that wasn't really my experience. So like, we can't write about that. Okay, we'll write about the thing in the book. So I understand, again, in retrospect, it was like the book comes out and the headline is, you know what it is? I'll tell you this because this still makes me laugh. So the book comes out and I had done a few interviews. We launched the book on a show in the U.S. called CBS Sunday Morning, which is like a very positive news magazine show, kind of nerdy, sweet. It's been around forever. One of my favorite shows, actually. And as soon as the interview came out, there were a bunch of magazines that the headline, I mean, sort of like not tabloidy, but like magazines that are more human interest. to me, it basically felt like the headline was like, gay Kal Penn writes gay book about gay, only gay. And because honestly, you work for 4 years on a book that's supposed to be a funny memoir about with like crazy zany stories, 350 pages, and one of them is a chapter about meeting your partner who happens to be a dude, and that's all the headlines want to talk about. I felt like I was living in a crazy world. But also what was weird about it, and I'll tell you, so I got a call from a good friend, Lily Singh.
Shout out Lily. Great work.
Huge shout out to Lily. So these articles start coming out, and I'm confused and bummed out. I'm bummed out because I'm so proud of this book, and I'm realizing all of the space is being taken up by their identity clickbait.
Right.
But I'm also confused because I felt like, as a man of color, growing up in the U.S. as the son of immigrants, I've written a book about accomplishments that I'm very proud of, that are merit-based. I'm proud that I worked my ass off. I'm proud of the opportunities that my parents and my public school system gave me. I'm proud of the dumb dick jokes that are in my book.
Right.
Those are all merit-based things. That all gets erased when the only thing somebody wants to write about is your identity. And I'm obviously proud of who I am. It's not to shy away from that, but it's just to say that it felt weird that these magazines were focusing on the one thing that wasn't merit-based after you've worked so hard as a man of color in the U.S.
Right.
And I wasn't sure how to articulate that, and I think I articulated it to a few people kind of badly at the time, but Lily called out of the blue and was like, yo, just know that the press that you're all reading, we all know, but you should just remember that you know you're more than what the headlines are saying. And that meant a lot to me at the time because she knew and had lived through that same experience of people try to distill something to just identity. And you're immensely proud of your identity, but you wish they would also talk about all the accomplishments, you know? So I think when you're asking the question about like what was it like coming out, I'd been out for quite a good portion of my life at that point, but I also understand that the public perception wasn't that and how I would maybe do the optics of that differently if I was going to do it all over again.
We have barely scratched the surface with this clip. If you want to know all the fun stuff that happened in this conversation, you've got to go to our main channel. Click now.